Hello and welcome to What is Wrestling? I think we're up to 3 now. This is Ron, and I'm 2 hours past taking my contacts out.
And we're going to talk about Benjamin.
No, we're not going to talk about Benjamin. Benjamin's going to talk about...
What is your current state of wrestling? Okay. Raw versus SmackDown.
Going to get right into it. All right.
Way to cut Ron off there, Josh. Nice and professional. 30 beers in.
That deserves no bump.
All right. Current state of wrestling. I think wrestling is fun. We just had... Right now we're at Raw versus SmackDown for the last year and a half or so, year and a couple of months. SmackDown, since the split, has been the strongest show, which I know a lot of people may disagree with. WWE wants to disagree with it. Oh, they may.
The fan knows better.
Well, some fans may know better. Raw is always has been and always will be the primetime show. SmackDown, however...
It hasn't, though.
It has been.
No, there was shows before Raw that were much better. I think I gotta
like what? Just okay. What do you mean?
Like, I know I sound like an old fogey here, but like the '70s shit and the '80s shit. The '70s was brutal. It was like,
well, that's fine, but like WWE, the show has been Raw is War. Well, actually, Raw that started in like 1991, 1992, I think. Actually, before that, it wasn't. There was not a weekly show. That was the first weekly show. Before that, it was just like pay-per-views and events with like
they had weekend shows and shit.
Well, yeah, right. Like Saturday Night Main Event. You had your Superstar show.
Like, what do you?
But Raw is the show that started it all.
I don't.
It is.
That came out like
91 or 92.
Yeah, there was plenty before Raw.
I mean, there was, but that's what made it...
No, you're sitting there going, yeah, there was, but there wasn't.
Raw made it mainstream, man. Raw is what made WWE
You mean like Steve Austin and shit like that?
Well, that happened in like 97. Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, The Undertaker. There are two main guys that were on Raw, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, which is already debatable the most popular superstar of all time. Raw is... That TV program is what made WWE what it is now. It became a weekly televised show. And before that, you had your Big Show, you had your Hulk Hogan, and you had your Sergeant Slaughter, and all that shit in the 80s. But there wasn't something that you could just like watch on a weekly basis that made it, I'm going to watch this.
I watched, what I'm telling you is I was there. I lived it. I watched it. I watched Vince McMahon and Lord Alfred Hayes and Mean Gene Okerlund and Big John Studd and fucking Hacksaw Jim Duggan and like tons of guys. Or whatever. And like back then, I'm saying like it looked real. Here's my
So
thing.
What are you two saying?
I'm
that
saying
wrestling nowadays is not as good as...
No, it doesn't look anything like it. It looked like a fucking brutal fight.
I'm going to give you guys 5
But listen.
Now, do you listen?
Now, wrestling is now like a set of robot dinosaurs away from being Power Rangers. That's what it is.
I'm going to tell you why wrestling is at its best that it's ever been right now.
I mean,
well, that's because you've been raised on the whole, McDonald's fries and fucking chicken nuggets.
Well, back in the 80s, people thought that wrestling was real. Nobody thinks wrestling is real anymore. Nobody thinks that there's two guys trying to fight and trying to pin each other nowadays.
Doesn't mean you can't make it look good.
No, they do make it look good.
I
think they do.
I watched, like I was saying, I watched this a match one time, and like the guy threw the guy into the rope for like 47 minutes during the fucking thing. I was like, is he ever going to try to clothesline him or what? Well, it's like,
dude, if you watch a Hulk Hogan 1987 match compared to a match nowadays, it's completely different. And
it is. I mean, I'm saying like the wrestling as a whole, the animal is different now.
Again, with going back to the whole Raw thing, being a weekly program, it completely changed the game. Back in the day...
It might have changed the game, but there was weekly wrestling before it.
It's a different universe now. Back in the 80s, they wanted you to think it was real. Now, nobody expects you to think it's real.
Ben, what's the statement of wrestling now?
I think he was covering that with me.
Yeah, I mean, our conversation is good. I mean, it's different. WWE is... Back in the 80s is completely different now, which is, you're an older generation, so you watch it back then. I'm a newer generation, I watch it now. It's different, but I mean, people still enjoy it for what it is. And back then, they wanted you to think it was real.
You there.
Now they don't. Now, obviously, everybody that's not a kid knows that it's scripted.
Yeah.
But it's completely different now than what it was back. Nobody expects it to be
real.
real.
I guess that might be it. Like, it's like after you find out that Santa Claus isn't real or something like it, it's never the same.
And that's fair. And back in the day, Hulk Hogan did this. Hulk Hogan is a joke nowadays. Like his famous the leg drop. Nobody's gonna tap out to a leg drop. Yet back then,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like now, everything's just like everybody's almost got this kind of Kryptonian threshold for pain now. Like,
right.
I mean, like back in the day, like they had to carry you out on a stretcher when you got DDT. Now people DDT themselves
in the middle of the match, right? And that's legit. So now it's all about being more of a showman, making. I mean, now it's more about athleticism than it was before, in my opinion.
Yeah. Go ahead. What do you think, Josh? Are you texting somebody about wrestling?
I think wrestling's fine.
Right. Well, back in the day, it was all about being big. Big.
Josh is a big wrestling fan, by the way.
I just bought me and Ben $170 tickets. Have like 5th row seats to SmackDown on the 21st.
It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, here's what pisses me off about wrestling. What's the question? Are we comparing it to the old days?
Well,
is that what
you're just giving your idea of it. I wasn't even like I just had a spirited
the whole
conversation with
thing's
Ben
the perception of wrestling now.
What?
Is that what this is?
All right, let's mix it up a little bit.
The state of wrestling.
How you feel about wrestling now versus the past? How about
I'm
that?
extremely happy.
Why are you extremely happy?
Jinder Mahal's champ. That's a great thing.
I mean, okay, let's talk about Jinder Mahal for a minute.
Can I get
how's his personality different than anybody that's in wrestling now? They're all the same person.
What if I feel my overall statement's bigger than what you guys are asking me? I feel that there is more talent in wrestling now than there ever has been.
Well, there absolutely is more talent.
Period.
That's
Attitude Era, questions.
That's not even a debate, man. I mean, we've got NXT.
But Ron, you had a question?
I just want to say that wrestling now, to me, is like a huge, I don't want to say cartoon because that's not really right, but it's almost like
that's a show. It's a scripted show.
A puppet show or some shit. It's like where everybody is like doing limited shit, but doing it often.
So what's your ultimate question? Why do I love it so much now?
No, I don't give a shit about why you love it. What I want to know is this. How, I don't know, like if you could see it through my eyes, how do you think that like you would feel like in 20 years from now or whatever, like you're watching wrestling and you're like, this ain't what it used to be, and all it is somebody just coming out and they're just slapping each other with gloves or some shit.
I can say that now. When I first started watching wrestling back in the mid-90s, which now it's 2017, so wrestling back then is not what it is now. It's just different. At the same time, you gotta agree with that, man. Like, if you actually, a lot of people that are still wrestling fans to these days, they love The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Attitude Era is what they call it back in the late 90s to early 2000s. The Attitude Era. So awesome. Stone Cold stunning bitches drinking beer. The Rock talking shit, kicking people's asses. But if you watch a lot of that Attitude Era, a lot of that wrestling sucks. It just sucks. It's not what you, as a wrestling fan, there's wrestling fans, there's wrestling fans, and then there's just, I don't know what you want to call it, hillbilly fans, I guess.
Wrestling.
And wrestling, and that's a key word, is wrestling. Back in the old days with the NWA, Ric Flair, even Hulk Hogan, it's wrestling.
Let's just completely flip this podcast now.
Why?
This is a wrestling podcast, is it not?
Yeah.
This is me and Ben's wrestling podcast. Who's your
And Ron.
best competitor in WWE?
AJ Styles.
We're going to start disagreeing.
AJ Styles is the best hands down competitor
Why?
in WWE.
Why?
How isn't he? He's good on the mic. He's good in the ring. He can do anything in the ring. Watch his matches, man. Watch his matches. He can do fucking flips and shit. That's all. He's that good. And he even did not break James Ellsworth's neck because he about did his finisher move and so he's gonna fuck it up. So he just didn't do it.
But does it look like they were actually having a battle?
With AJ Styles, it does.
Doesn't it? That's what I'm saying, because like if you're just
doing
tricks with Tony Hawk or something.
But John Cena,
when I talk Ron,
Mm-hmm.
this is legitimate. I love Ron to death. It's my father. I'm asking Ron a question right now. You know, in wrestling shits I've been to with him?
Three.
This dude right here.
I've been to 4 Ozfestas. Festus?
It's not Roman.
We've been to 3 together. I've been to like 6 or 7 alone. He's been to 3 or 4 with me, whatever the fuck.
I've been to like 12.
Right. But together it's only been like 2 or 3 or 3 or 4.
But it's awesome. I spent a lot of money tonight.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, it's not about looking... Again, wrestling's not about looking like it's a fight.
Who's the best at SmackDown?
That's the craziest statement ever.
We all understand wrestling's not real. We all understand it's a scripted thing. We all get that, right?
Yeah.
We all understand that. So it's about the show. What TV shows does every we watch? Every show we watch is scripted, just like WWE. I know it's not more.
But I think that the acting on that if they're going to do like scripted wrestling, there needs to be at least some competition.
No.
I will say,
With-
and nowadays the acting has gotten worse, more scripted.
In the matches and off.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
yes, yes. Watch an episode of Piper's
Am I
Pit
not
or some
allowed
shit like
on
that.
This podcast
Pirates
anymore?
Pit, hell yeah. No, absolutely.
Dude, are you guys saying that wrestling's dead now?
Wrestling's dead.
No, I'm not saying it's dead at all.
All right,
No.
I'll
It's
take it.
not dead.
Lucas. No,
I love wrestling. It's not dead at all.
You-
Lucas
my
told
friend.
him it's dead.
It's not dead.
You're my friend.
I am your friend.
You're my friend.
I'm your friend.
Can you get 5 minutes?
What?
Please? I'm going to defend wrestling.
Do we pause it?
Wrestling's
No,
dead.
not pause. I want on the record. Lucas, are we still recording?
It's not dead. It's
dead.
I mean,
it's more
let me kill
scripted
it.
now.
It's not dead. You know why it's not dead? Jinder Mahal is a champ.
Who's Jeremy Hall?
Exactly.
Back in the day,
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
like Rock,
Listen.
Austin, Jericho, they could go out there. They went out there with nothing planned.
This is the best.
It's not the best.
No. It is the best.
New
This
stars
is the
today. No.
best talent
New-
they've ever had together.
All right, here's what I'll say. Here's the deal. They had the best talent with the least. with the
Apollo
least
Crews is squashing matches, Ron.
They have no
Apollo
freedom.
Crews is a fucking 6'7" black dude. What does he do?
I don't know.
What does he fucking? Yes, you do.
There's no-
He fucking does a standing 450. What did I tell you when we saw him live? What did I tell you?
What did he tell you, Ben? My God.
He said
What'd
he's
I tell
good.
you?
Here's what I'm saying.
He's 6'7", 265. He does a fucking standing front flip, and he's like
WWE,
8-pack.
they have the best
But
talent
he
right
sucks.
now. They have the best
Okay.
talent with the least freedom. There is no freedom. Do you think the Rock did what he did with
Incredibly
fucking writers?
sexy. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to any of that.
There's no freedom
You want to
nowadays.
come out of The Rock? The Rock is the most overrated piece of shit wrestling's ever had.
The most
Do you remember Austin and Rock?
Hey Josh,
Remember how big that was?
your mic is literally all the way down because you're screaming, and we can still hear you over top of everybody
Ben.
else.
They have
Who
the
was
least
bigger to
freedom.
you, Austin or Rock?
Austin, well, Rock's probably bigger. Reality.
Austin was bigger.
Austin's
Give
better.
a
No, Rock's
percent.
bigger.
A percent.
Austin's better. Rock's
Percent.
better, unfortunately.
Percent out of the two.
You mean as far as his whole career, or just,
Yes.
Like,
All
I
of
would
it.
say The Rock had it, but like Austin was better.
Austin's way better.
Percent.
And the reason being is back then they had freedom to do things. They don't have that freedom now. And that's why, like, they're talking about Austin on a podcast
Bro.
one day. He's talking about Grand Brass Ring.
Hey, I'm gonna cut you off.
Shocker.
We're getting away from the topic.
Are
Who's
we?
your top 5?
He was
on
talking about
SmackDown?
wrestling. How's that getting away from the topic?
Because he's going into people when I know he likes other people.
I'm
Top
not-
five-
I'm talking about just
Top
freedoms,
5
man.
on
No,
SmackDown right
I'm
now.
not talking about people. I'm talking about the general reality of wrestling. Back in the 90s with Hulk Hogan and The Rock and Stone Cold, they had that freedom to do what they want to do. There was no script. Chris Jericho would go out there with no script and just do his thing.
Bro,
Nowadays, there is no thing.
There
You
is.
have a writer and you do what he says or else you get fucking got.
Give me your top 3.
It's a fucking
Give me your
fact.
top 3 on SmackDown right now.
On SmackDown right now,
Yep.
AJ Styles with Dean Ambrose.
And you're saying that makes it better?
It's not cool.
No, I think back then was better.
Okay, so you kind of agree with me then.
I agree with both of you. It's better further back.
I think there is more talent now, but if
The
the
talent is better now.
if the talent
the
now had the
quality's not
freedom
better.
then,
You could have like
Right.
a next generation or whatever,
Right.
a true one.
unfortunately, it's a huge company.
Well, I
It's
think
a-
they got rid of too many things. Is like I'm saying, like the whole thing where you had this set of people and this set of people. And
They got too political, man. They got too ridiculous. Well, back in the day, there were like steroids and drugs involved, and now they're Vince McMahon want to make it a really good public
It's
company.
to me, it's like Disney bought it, and you're watching a Disney Channel
It-
version of
That's a fair argument. I mean, it is. Like, there's no more chair shots because of
no more blood.
seizures and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Because of Chris Benoit, who killed his family, which I get, that sucked. But it's a different entity now than when it was back 2004 and forward. And it is what it is.
Let's go real life. About to go see it soon. How do you feel about it?
It'll be awesome. I love watching AJ Styles. He's my boy. I could watch AJ all day. But if you want to talk about the new champion, like, that's cool because it's a championship belt that gets defended every 30 days. If it doesn't get defended every 30 days, it gets stripped from the champion because it's the defending title. But Brock Lesnar Oh, we're getting cut off.
Sorry, I may hit that.
I remember my first beer.
But on Raw, Brock Lesnar won the title at WrestleMania back on April 2nd.
You're retired.
And what
I
is
want to
it?
get one of those cinnamon rolls in a minute.
Alright, Ron.
I'm just running my mouth how it's ridiculous that Brock Lesnar, who everybody for some reason fucking loves because
I
of,
agree.
oh my god, UFC.
Let's hit a couple core. This has been a fucking really fucked up podcast, I'd say.
I wonder why.
Who's your Money in the Bank winner for the men?
I'm not sure who's in the Money in the Bank, man. Who's in the Money
You
in
gotta
the
pick
Bank?
one. Corbin, Owens, Nakamura, Ziggler, Zayn, Styles.
If Styles is in it, I gotta go with Styles. I could see an awesome Styles Orton.
Alright, Corbin.
Corbin's good,
I got Corbin.
but
And the women's.
Charlotte, hands down,
I got
Charlotte.
Carmella.
Charlotte's gonna win
Alright,
that shit.
fair enough. Lucas, any more questions?
Huh?
Question.
I ain't got no questions.
Ron, how you feel about wrestling?
I feel like it's dead, much like this episode of the podcast.
Wrestling is more alive than ever.
No.
I think the WWE Network, motherfucker.
Dead
How is
like
it
this.
not?
I think Josh is dead. He's knocking everything over. He keeps spinning, and the headphone cord is like wrapping it around his neck. So